we have to get on the floor already. I call to order the Board of Zoning and Appeals meeting. Will the clerk please call roll?
Kane,
Here.
Ali,
Present.
Masterson, here. Thibodeau.
Here.
Winkle,
Here.
and Kimball is excused. Members of the administration, Chief Building Official Thurston,
Here.
Assistant Law Director Morgan,
Here.
Planning and Economic Development Director Lieber.
Here. We will rise to the same pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, has everybody had a chance to read the minutes? Does anybody have anything to say about it? Any addendums, anything? We'll just accept the minutes as submitted. Mr. Ali, do we have any planning commission reports?
Yes, we do. T58-2022, amending the fence height requirement from 3.5 feet to 4 feet with the 50% of the face to remain open and not more than 2 strands of barbed wire may be placed atop the fence no less than 6 feet from the ground.
That's what you guys passed, or you approved to
That's
go to city council?
That has been approved.
It's been approved, so that's now ordinance?
No, it was recommended to council. Madam Chair, that's gone through both planning commission and building lands committee, and both of which recommended sending it back to council for recommendation of adoption. So that would probably come into effect 45 to 60 days if it does get adopted. roughly.
Which we've strongly recommended.
Yes, it's in the works. So
Okay,
once
so-
it gets adopted, it's got to go through its other readings and then go along.
Okay, we appreciate you and all your hard work for doing all that stuff. We appreciate that. All right, do we have any other?
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry.
T57-2022, repealing section 660-12, fences no longer permitting electrical fences.
Anything?
Same timeline.
Same thing.
Well, thank you again. That helps clean up some of our ordinances. We appreciate your work.
Thank you. So, yeah.
Any other correspondence? Okay, then we will go into the first public hearing.
PPZ 2022-0108, Rochelle Ensley, 6920 Hatching Way, PPN 070003311850. Applicant saying, the applicant proposes building a 4-foot high fence and trash enclosure on a corner lot. Property is zoned PCD R1 district. Requests: 1, a 0.5 foot variance for height of a fence located in the front yard. Applicant shows 4 feet. Code allows for 3.5 feet. Section 1294.01 H1A. Note, this variance is for both the perimeter fence and trash enclosure. 2, a variance for a solid fence located in the front yard. Applicant shows 100% closed portion of fence. Code requires 50% open. Section 1294.01 H3. Note, this variance is for the trash enclosure only. Chief Building Official Person's comments. 1294.01 H1 and 3. In residential districts, fences from the front line of the building to the street shall be 3.5 foot in height and 50% open. Corner lots have 2 front line of building. Applicant requesting 4-foot high fences requiring a 0.5 foot height variance and 100% closed for trash enclosure. portion of fencing requiring a 100% closed variance, BZA approval required.
Is there anybody here to speak on behalf of this matter?
Right here.
Okay, do you want to go up to the podium?
Good evening.
I need you to state your name and your address.
Rochelle Inslee, 6920 Hatching Way, North Ridgeville.
Okay, I do need to swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the statements you are about to make before the Zoning and Building Board of Appeals for the City of North Ridgeville are true as you shall answer unto God or under the penalties of the law of perjury?
Yes.
Okay, tell us a little bit about your application.
Putting in for the 4-foot variance, one for the kids to make sure the little ones, and then also the lab, and then also our neighbor, which is directly behind us, have a dog as well. So, and then also I know we're losing a little bit, which I didn't know when we got the lot because of the easement, the utility line. So we're losing some of the yard space there to enclose the fence as well too.
Okay, so I have a question of the building official. So are we looking at the whole thing or just the little thing that's highlighted in purple?
Trash.
So that's the only thing that we're,
And the fence.
oh, in the middle, okay.
Mhm.
So this is usual, well, one of our liaisons and one of our city council persons just sat here and told you, we know that fences don't come in 3.5 foot. We know that they make them now in 4 foot.
Okay.
So we understand that part of it. The enclosure that you want to put your trash cans in, we appreciate that you're wanting to hide them. If you didn't live on a corner lot, you wouldn't need a variance, but because you do have the two front yards, that's the reason for the variance.
Okay.
So it's a practical difficulty, and this is something that we usually do approve. We do appreciate that you've come in front of us. Is there any other board members that want to have a talk or discussion? Anybody in the audience want to? Do you have anything else you'd like to add? Okay, the board will entertain a motion.
Okay.
I move we accept. Second.
Will the clerk please take roll?
Kane,
Yes.
Ali,
Yes.
Masterson,
Yes.
Thibodeau,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you. Come on up.
Madam Chairman, for clarity,
I'm sorry.
that covers both of them.
Yeah, to be clear, it's both. Okay, and then just come on up here and I'll give you a signed copy of. Hopefully you'll stop being cold. Okay, there you go.
All right,
Thank you.
and welcome to our town. Thank you. Thank you.
Will the clerk please read the second application?
EPZ 2022-0112, Jeffrey Kessler, Rebecca Kessler, 37243 Golden Eagle Drive, PPN 0700033112-106. Applicant same. The applicant proposes building a 4-foot high fence on a corner lot. Property is zoned PCD R1. District requests. 1, a 0.5 foot variance for height of a fence located in the front yard. Applicant shows 4 feet, code allows 3.5 feet, section 1294.01 H1A. Building officials comments, 1294.01 H1A, fences in residential districts shall not exceed 3.5 foot in height from front line of building to right of way corner lot. Have 2 front line or building. Applicant requesting 4-foot high fence from front line of building requiring a 1/2 foot height variance. BZA approval required.
Is there anybody here? State your name and your address.
My name is Jeffrey Kessler, 37243 Golden Eagle Drive in North Ridgeville.
Okay, I'm going to have you take an oath. Do you swear or affirm that the statements that you are about to make before the zoning and building board of appeals for the city of North Ridgeville are true as you shall answer unto God or under the penalties of the law of perjury?
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about your application.
so we are requesting to put in the 4-foot high black aluminum fence, basically fencing in the backyard, running up along a little bit of the side of the house on the street side of High Perch. We had poured a patio that they ran to the back corner of the house. We might have to go up just a little bit to get to the butt up against the house. Similar to the lady before, we have 4 kids, 1 on the way and a dog. Both neighbor behind me as well has a dog, so we're just looking to maximize the yard and have a high enough fence to take care of that.
Well, you heard what we said.
I did.
And you hear what we're about to do. One of the reasons is you have to, the fence is standard size, but when you're considering where you're coming out, we normally don't like fences that block views from the sidewalk, but you're not even going, you're going off the rear of the house. So you're not impeding any sight lines, and plus the fence is a black wrought iron fence that you can see through.
Yeah, and I'm not planning to go very close to the sidewalk at all.
So you are the reason we're here, so it's a very reasonable request. Is there anybody on the board that'd like to say anything on this matter? Anybody from the administration? Anybody in the audience? Okay. I am looking for a motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Clerk, please take roll.
Kane,
Yes.
Yes.
Masterson,
Yes.
Thibodeau,
Yes.
motion carries.
We'll give you one more. Just go get your permit from the building department, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please call the next applicant.
EPZ 2022-0113, Samuel Singer, 33949 Dodge Avenue, PPN 0700009119-003. Applicant same. The applicant is proposing a new 30-foot by 30-foot outbuilding on their property, which is approximately 0.48 acre. Property is zoned R1 district. Requests a 224 square foot variance for area of an outbuilding. Applicant shows 900 square feet. Code allows 676 square feet. Section 1294.03E2. Chief Building Officials comments. 1294.03 E2 outbuilding in residential district shall not exceed 676 square feet. Applicant requesting 900 square feet outbuilding requiring a 224 foot square variance. BZA approval required.
Come to the podium, say your name and your address.
Samuel Singer, 33949 Dodge Avenue.
Okay, I'm gonna swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the statements you are about to make before this zoning and building board of appeals for the city of North Ridgeville are true as you shall answer unto God or under the penalties of the law of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Tell us a little bit about your application.
So I have two bigger than 26 feet trailers, enclosed trailers. I'm hoping that it wouldn't be an issue. I like to store them inside. And I'm not even living in the house yet. We're still doing repairs there. And I'm speaking with the neighbors. They tell me that there's a lot of kids that cut through from the baseball diamond through the yards and stuff back there. I was there one evening kind of late and I did see a couple kids walking through. It's gonna be kind of hard for them to take a trailer, but I wouldn't want to vandalize it or anything. I'm proposing the outbuilding would match the house. It would be landscaped. It wouldn't be an eyesore. And I have no neighbors.
Your property is the park, so it's kind of. Have you looked at other alternatives?
I'm currently I'm renting the building now, and that's kind of the push for something on my own property
Okay.
that I wouldn't have to rent.
And are you planning on running a business out of there?
No, I tinker with stuff, four-wheelers. We have property down south and we have side-by-sides and
And I don't even know if I'm allowed to ask that question, am I? Nobody's answered.
Never been asked.
Oh, okay. Well, I just didn't know what the answer was. Okay. All right. So we do appreciate putting things inside of a building. Does any of the other board members have anything to add? Any questions, comments, concerns? Neil?
It does, up against, park there, but there is a little like creek kind of.
behind it, right, yeah,
Behind it, and then there's some tree line there as well. And putting up that building there, I don't think anybody would even notice that.
Yeah, Madam Chairman, I would kind of say the same thing. I don't think it would disrupt the neighborhood. I think it's very knowledgeable. It also protects him if the kids come through and climb, not really vandalize. I'm worried about climbing on those, falling off, breaking the legs. That's a liability for him. And the gentleman is gracious enough to ask to put a building up to put them in instead of just put them on his yard. So I have no issues with that.
I mean, it is a high visibility corner, we'll say, and I agree. It's under a roof, so it'll be covered up, as long as not like that type of business, which we've seen in the past.
There's nobody in the audience, so. Yes, Kim.
I just wanted to add it first when I saw the request of 224 square feet, what the code would allow is a really giant percentage of that which is permitted. So to me, it was a very substantial variance. But the property is like just under a half acre. But then I studied the code a bit further. For if the property were a little over a half acre, then it shifts into a different method of calculation for outbuildings based on lot coverage. At that point, it becomes 10%. So potentially the outbuilding could go to 2,000 square feet as opposed to, based upon a lot coverage calculation. So I think while it looks substantial on paper, if the lot were just a little bit bigger, there wouldn't be a variance request in this particular case. So I think that's an area of the code that you might need to look at in the future, because I think that's a pretty big discrepancy between lots under a half acre and lots over a half acre. You get quite a big difference in discrepancy between the size of outbuildings that are permitted. It's a pretty big step.
Thank you for your input, and that's part of the reason why we're here, is to use common sense. Because like you said, it does, when you look at it on paper, it looks like a very substantial request. However, when you take it into context of everything else, it isn't as substantial as it initially looks.
And Chairman,
Yes, sir.
as in the past, the board has always recognized that not only could he build a 676 square foot outbuilding, in addition, he could build a 676 square foot detached garage. And the board always took into account that this was smaller than the two combined. So they figured that this was a more practical benefit to the neighborhood rather than have two big buildings, just one.
And I did. That is something that we have done in, you are aware of that he could have built two single buildings and not even needed to come to us.
I guess it's more of a building official question, has the board placed a restriction on the building? Like if a variance were granted, the property owner could still make a request for a garage, right?
I'm sorry.
So are you suggesting that the board place a condition that would allow them to build a
Because if he came in and he wanted a 676 square foot outbuilding, we'd send him back to the board for another variance.
If it
Because he
were,
got this increase to this building,
if it were a detached garage?
we'd send him back for another
Okay,
variance.
so it doesn't open the gates to
No.
another structure.
Well,
Yeah, because it hasn't in the last 20 years. So,
There'd be buildings everywhere and no grass, I don't want that. I have grandkids that want to
well,
play.
that sounds like Westlake, a lot of buildings and very little grass.
Yeah.
Okay, any more discussion?
Madam Chair, I would just add that, we've seen enough cases over the past, just by the time I've been here, where people are trying to put trailers into something because they can't have them in their driveways, that was pointed out before, so it's almost a proactive approach to that.
Well, and
Cleans things up.
And even James mentioned, that from an attractive nuisance standpoint, you're right by a baseball field, there are kids do kid stuff, and to have one of the kids climb up on it and fall off, it's a huge problem. But it's also, as Neil stated too, it's a park and it's always gonna be a park. So it's never going to be a subdivision, so. If there's no more discussion, the board, where I recommend that we approve this application as it's submitted. Looking for a second.
Second.
Will the clerk please take roll?
Kane,
Yes.
Ali,
Yes.
Masterson,
Yes.
Thibodeau.
Yes.
Motion carried.
That made me think of a question. So my realtor told me that she heard that they were selling that baseball field to turn it into a development. It's funny that you say that. That's not true. Okay, it's because there's a guy that rides his bike around over there,
Are you-
they call him the town crier. So,
Are you pulling my leg or you?
No,
No,
there's some realtors that will spread misinformation.
yeah,
really bad
and I
about
was
the
really
industry.
hoping that it wasn't true. I don't want it to go.
Isn't it
there,
a
but-
city park?
No, it's probably
it's
owned,
not
from my understanding. Yeah.
I'm on the board there.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah, well, that's right. They're over there cutting grass. There's kids already playing. There's already baseball, games going on. So I thought it would be a little bit weird that that would happen.
I heard it was a nuclear power plant going.
I heard it was a strip club.
Can we have a?
Thank you guys.
You're
Well,
welcome.
Madam President.
So is there any other board, any other board? Hearing none, I adjourn the meeting. So you guys are not selling the property?
No.
Yeah.